Hello, everybody, and welcome here to Las Vegas Speedway here for the SSR Sweet Tea Gang Truck Series playoffs. Here, once again in Las Vegas. Hello, my name is Christian Delgado, your lead broadcaster and commentator for the night's race here at Las Vegas, and really exciting to see here. Actually, a little bit of a delayed start here, but we're here, up and going. About 25 seconds left in practice, and you're out here, Lane Phillips leading the field here in practice here at Las Vegas. Brandon Honeycutt, your new points leader in the playoffs, P2. Interesting to see what all these guys can do here going into qualifying. Remember, this is a big race for some of these guys. This is going to be a make or break it or break it type of race here for these drivers. Some of these guys like Honeycutt, who have locked their way into the playoffs, don't really have to worry a whole lot about that. But you have to see some guys that are towards the back there that really have to capitalize on some of this and try to get out there and make a run for his money here, as we're going to get ready to watch some qualifying under its way here. Waiting on drivers to grid up so we can find someone to watch real quick while we reload the ticker for everybody here. Waiting on someone to get on track here. Sam Kohlhaas coming out straight road here. Gonna start his first lap. You see a lot of these guys be aggressive out of the pits here, trying to make sure that they can get everything out of that truck as best that they can here. Excuse me. See Sam gonna come out of here to start his first lap. We're gonna turn 1, 2. You Lex the bottom here. They try to rip the wall here. Sam Kohlhaas, 30.81. That's good enough for 4th place right now. On a Hollifield, one of your newer drivers in the field here. Currently your pole sitter, 30.608. They still have some guys out here. They're gonna try to make it a race. So you see Brandon Honeycutt right here on his out lap here. Going into turn 3 and 4 here, trying to set a lap time. Honeycutt, currently P6. 30.56. And Filippo in that number 16 right now. Your pole sitter, 30.410. He has completed all his laps. So we have to look at someone like a Honeycutt. This is going to be his second. This is going to be his heater lap here. As I get him. 30.477. That's a good enough for P3. Joe Hudson out on track here. Remember, missed a couple races due to some conflicts of interest here. And we're going to see him try to come out here and run some of these laps out. So on his first lap, this is going to be the heat lap. You see him, he's someone who has always been, a little bit different compared to everybody else when it comes to his qualifying style. And rip the wall here. He's going to try to get a good momentum off the top here to get a good run down the back here. And now this is going to be his flyer here. So we're not really going to count this lap here for Joe. 32.694. Not even, I mean, that's dead last here. But right now he's already almost 2 seconds above the lap time he set there. Looks like he did lose a bit of time here down the backstretch though. Going under 3 and 4, he needs a really good 3 and 4 to maybe secure this pull away from Lane Phillips, who we just saw take the pull away here. 30.383. Joe Hudson down to the line. What does he get? That's a 3.71, and that is your pull. Barely eking out Lane Phillips, just over 100th of a second faster. Barry Stevens out on his out lap. He's not going to have enough time to set a lap here, but so he will be starting towards the back here. Jordan Marion, the last driver here to not set a lap. And obviously Barry not going to be able to set a lap here as well. Apologies for that. And that is the end of qualifying here. We are going to pull up your thumbnail real quick. We do have to load up our custom camera angles here. We don't want to show all the ugly mess to you guys. So we're going to go ahead and load this up here while you drivers get ready to grid. Okie dokie. Get the show on the road here. Everybody lined up here. Let's go through your starting lineup here. Joe Hudson, your pull sitter here at Las Vegas. Lane Phillips in that P2 spot. Gonna round out your front row here. Brandon Sanfilippo on that 16 needs a good run here to propel himself in the playoffs. Ira Colas, I think, is in a must-win after missing out on last week's race there at the Roval. Is in a really bad position here. Brandon Isham at number 19, gonna be in your 5th place driver. Brandon Honeycutt, your last week's winner and now your new points leader back there in that P6 spot. On Hollifield in that number 21 machine, gonna start 7th with Ty Dickinson on the outside of him in that 8th place spot. Brandon Zimmerman in P9. Bryce Dickinson in that number 84. Going to round out your top 10 here. Sam Kohlhaas with Barry Stevens. Going to be that 11th and 12th place driver. And Jordan Marion going to round out the field in P12 here. And that is going to do it here. Just waiting on a couple of drivers to grid up here. Looks like maybe our race controls do register as drivers, as we see are starting to slow here. So maybe we're waiting on them to exit out of the sim here, and so they can start doing their due diligence and responsibilities with that. Looking at your race weather for tonight's race, 78 degrees here. Really no wind, 1 mile an hour wind, clear skies here. Going to be a beautiful race here at Vegas, like it always is here. So this track has always been a really good when it comes to putting on a nice looking race. You see cars going in the 1 and 2 here. I think it's going to be a Ford front row there. Chevy lockout there on that P2 row, on that second row there. Once again, 120 laps. This race is going to fly by pretty quickly here. Because once again, we are in the playoffs here for the Sweet Tea Game Truck Series. But you're going to see these guys going to be aggressive here, trying to make up spots here. You're going to have to do something special for some of these guys who need to basically win to continue their run here, to win for the run for a championship. Obviously, there's some guys like that number 13 back there starting in P6. Won at the Roval in kind of a controversial manner, but it did lock himself into the next round into the playoffs here with that win here. But that pace truck's going to take that hard left turn. Once again, Ford front row, Chevy second row here. 120 laps here. We're green here at Vegas. Coming out of turn 4, battle for the lead here. It looks like the 6 is going to give it to the 6 Elaine Phillips here. As the 49 going to look on the bottom of that number 6 machine. Trying to battle side by side going into turn, out of turn 2 here. Trying to take this lead away. See the 16 of San Filippo back there just kind of watching the battle ensue for this P1 spot. As you see them side by side once again, turn 3 and 4. Looks like that bottom prevails on the entry, and it looks like Joe Hudson will clear here for this lead here, leading lap number 2. The battle back for this P6 spot. You see the 67, that is of Ty Dickinson trying to get around the 19. That's Brandon Ishin on number 19. Good wrench machine. Side by side all the way around the track here. You see the 13 underneath the 29 for that P4 spot. And lots of good racing here at the start of this race here. Again, you're going to see these trucks going to be basically flat out here. You saw yesterday here here on HVTV, we saw some truck racing. At a mile and a half. And you're going to see the same thing here with everybody kind of compacted together. You will see most likely some cars start to break away depending on how much they want to push those tires. But right now you see everybody kind of compacted, trying to make up spots here at the start of this race, trying to take advantage of everybody being compacted. You see the 16 looking on the outside of that 49, trying to take this lead away on the backstretch here. 16, 49 into turn 3 and 4. 16 will get a run off the top, giving him that advantage going to the line. Who gets at the line here? Give it to the 49 once again. Joe Hudson continues to lead at Las Vegas. You're starting to see kind of two lines prevail here. Brandon Honeycutt making some contact with the 67. The 67 just getting a little tight, getting up into the 13, and now you're looking almost 3 wide coming out of turn 4. That 29 on the very top here. You saw the 13 kind of in the middle, and you see a big block by San Filippo towards that 49 machine. All right, back there still trying to make this top work. Oh, some contact between him and the 6 machine on the bottom. That is Lane Phillips in that 3rd place spot. But you see Ira, I think a decent run off the corner here. Going to make a run at the 6 machine going to the line. And they're going to be side by side going into turn 1. Hang on board with the 29. Getting out some chat. We have some confusion. So Susie asking how many make it to the playoffs. So the way the playoffs work is you get the top 16 drivers get into the playoffs, whether that's with a win or through points. If you didn't get a win, if you were just a top 16 on points, you get into the playoffs. And then throughout the playoffs, basically the bottom 4 get eliminated after basically 3 race sectors. Currently we are in the round of 12, And so after this round of 12, we will cut the bottom 4, getting into the round of 8. And then after 3 races, we'll go down to the round of 4, and that will be the championship race at the end of the season. And so the top 4 drivers at the end of this playoff run will battle for a championship in the next, 4 or 5 races. So as we can, we will pull up your points. As right now, we have a battle for the lead here. 16 underneath the 29. Ira making that top work. Took the lead away from Hudson and all those guys back there. But you see now the 16 trying to make a move here. Let's take a look at your points as we speak here. We saw Brandon Honeycutt win last week at the Roval, taking the points lead away. And Filippo, P2 in points. Joe Hudson in P3. William McKellar, I do not see him on the track tonight. So that's going to be a huge blow for that 75 team. But McKellar currently tied for P3 in points. But obviously we know he's going to drop down the points list here. Lane Phillips, P5. Sam Kohlhaas, P6. Bryce Dickinson, P7 with Ty in P8. Ira below the cutoff in 9th with John Fowler, Brandon Zimmerman, and Cody DeForge. The last out of the round of 12 here. So a lot of the drivers that are underneath the cutoff have not really shown up as much here, like the DeForges, like the Fowlers, like the Zimmermans. So really I feel like Ira has to battle. Well, really the only person who's really in contention, who consistently shows up, is your race leader of Ira, who is about 6 points below the cutoff behind Ty. So, and Ira's doing everything he needs to right now. If he wins, doesn't matter if he's 6 points below. If he wins, he locks himself in the playoffs, knocking Ty down out of the playoffs, or potentially McKellar. We'll see how this works out. I think McKellar should be pretty good. Missing a race here, he is only 12 points behind versus like Ty and Ira, who are 57 and 63 respectively points behind your points leader of Honeycutt. So Ira needs to do everything he can to do to maybe win here at in Nevada here tonight. Right now that's what he's doing. Leading laps here. Lap 15 of 120 complete here, and Ira continuing the lead here at Las Vegas. Everybody's starting to get a little spread out here. Closest battle is for this P4 spot. Joe Hudson kind of under attack a little bit. Actually, I'm wrong here. The closest battle right here, 65 of Brandon Zimmerman. Trying to attack Lane Phillips. Brandon is one of those guys who has to win to get himself back into a championship form here in that AWG Ancient World Gaming Machine. He has to win or have a insane run here to point his way back in there. Now, Brandon has not been able to race all the races here, putting himself at a huge disadvantage compared to someone like the Honeycutts, like the Kohlhaases, like the Filippos. And he's going to have to race his way up here. And Filippo making a pass. Ira losing the lead. Now back to third as Honeycutt, your points leader, takes this lead away from the 29. And you see Filippo close behind him to his tail, trying to run this 13 down here. 17, now 18 laps complete here. You see Jordan Marion off the pace here. Back here in this number 11 machine, already 2 seconds behind the pack here. 4 seconds behind the race lead here. I'm not sure what happened to Jordan, but it looks like that truck's pretty clean, and no scrapes or anything, unsponsored. So anybody in the chat looking to sponsor a machine here, looks like Jordan's looking for some funding to get some help here. Maybe get some more performance out of that truck. For the P3 spot, Joe gets around Ira, and you're starting to see what the tire war starts to do here. Ira did a really good job of getting out there and taking the lead and trying to lead this race here, but you saw because he did that, he used up his stuff a little bit. His tires are starting to go away compared to some of these drivers out there. And now he's just going to have to mitigate the damage the best he can here for the rest of the race. That 49 of Joe Hudson make a little mistake, get on the apron, but save that thing. Now Ira under attack from that 6 of Lane Phillips, my apologies. And now everybody's starting to get single file out here. You see Ty Dickinson getting taken advantage of by Brandon Ishna, 19 machine, side by side for this P7 position. Brandon's going to take the spot away here coming out of turn 2. And Brandon doing a really good job trying to get back up here. Already down 2 spots here, but your biggest mover is your leader, Brandon Honeycutt, in that 13 spot, in that 13 car, up 5 spots, but he does have a tailgate full of that 16 of San Filippo. Brandon has really turned on the burners here during the playoffs. He's had a really quiet season, has really had a really quiet run here. And then as the playoffs started, he started to turn up the heat, and now he's, I would say, a top 2, top 3, top 4 truck day in and day out here. And he's starting to show why he might be the favorite to win the championship. Good battle back here. Lane Phillips finally got around the 29 of Ira. I was trying to do the best to make that 6 work for it, but fortunately that truck started to fall away when it comes to pace-wise. Last lap for that 29, 32.07. Listed your race leader, 31.8. Brandon Sanfilippo, 31.78. And now Brandon currently the fastest truck on track with that 31.78. And now he's going to look underneath the 13 to try to take this lead away. 13's going to have the momentum off the top. Going to keep this lead. You see Brandon on Brandon right here, P1 and P2. Really fighting each other. It's allowed Joe Hudson to start to close up a little bit here on these 2 drivers as they battle. So, kind of bringing Lane Phillips with him. Lane bringing Ira. A little bit farther back, you see Brandon Zimmerman at 65, up 3 spots. Remember, needs to have a good run here. Basically a must-win situation for this 65 team to propel them back into the hunt for a championship. Brandon Nation to 19. Down 2 spots, but right here in this P7 spot, trying to help this AWG truck in front of him get up towards this front part of the pack. Ty Dickinson in that P8 machine, in the P8 spot with the 67, the Stay Salty machine. See him rip the wall here. Ron Hollifield, newcomer to the Sweet Tea Gang Truck Series, under attack by Ty's brother of Bryce. They're in a little Dickinson sandwich. Right now, Bryce currently in that P10 spot. Barry Stevens, P11. Sam Kohlhaas. I expect a little bit more pace out of Sam here. But obviously, long race to go. He needs to figure out what he needs to do during these green flag pit stops. Or if we do get a caution, what he can do to address the handling of that truck, because he something has not come together here. And look at Jordan. I don't know what happened here. Maybe he was hardcore saving. Look at that. He's flying, and he caught the back end of this pack here. And now he's the fastest truck on track here. You talk about tire saving. He fell about 4 seconds behind the pack here, and now look at him. Lightning in a bottle. He's starting to catch these guys and mow them down quick here. Number 11 might have something up his sleeve. 11 underneath the 67, now underneath the 78. Going to turn 3 and 4. Not going to be clear. He's going to have to not walk that thing up the track because he does have a car on the outside there. That slows momentum down. Now the 67 side by side with the 11 here. 11 with a good run on the bottom. He's going to have to slide up though. Still side by side for this P10 spot. Until that truck is not handling the way he probably Gordon wanted to. He expected to probably get around to 78, but we know that Perry's not just going to pull over and let him go. But he does make the pass here out of turn 3 and 4 going into 1 and 2. I'll see if he can catch the two brothers, the two Dickens, the Rice here. Rice trying to run down this 21 machine in front of him. See a battle up here for the P3 spot. Lane Phillips gets around Honeycutt. So once again, you're starting to see the tire wear game start to come here. Brandon led a good portion of laps here. We can actually look. 13 laps. So just under half of the laps. Now Honeycutt's led, and he had to use his stuff up to keep that lead. And you're starting to see him fall back to the clutches of the 6 and even the 29 here. The Brandon Ish underneath the 29, trying to make up some spots as this long run goes on. Brandon, one of those drivers who I feel like is really good at managing tires, managing his car, and getting the most speed throughout the run here. He's not someone who's going to push that truck as hard as he can, burn up his stuff, and have to play defense. He's someone who always manages his runs pretty decently, I would say. Now you're starting to see the patience start to pay off for some of these drivers. The 19 still trying to get around 29 of Ira. Ira's still trying to run that higher line to get the momentum off the corners to keep this 19 behind. With all that said, Brandon Sanfilippo leading. 34 complete. You see Ty Dickinson have an issue here. See what happened in this number 67 machine. He's got some damage on the right front here. I'm surprised that wasn't a caution. Take a look back at this one more time. Him getting to the wall there and trying to keep it off the wall here. He spins it out. I mean, he's sideways on the track here. Surprised that wasn't a caution, but trouble for the number 67 machine. Guy's gonna have to get that thing under control, get back up to speed here. Still a long ways to go. See him taking that car down pit road. We'll see Sanfilippo leading here. We see Honeycutt coming down pit road, I believe. No, Honeycutt, yes. Down pit side here. So that's the first driver who's going to bite the bullet. Try to come down here, maybe make something different happen here. Going to come down, take 4 fresh Goodyear tires. And top up on that good Sunoco fuel. Now it's going to be about how do these guys react to Honeycutt here. It's like Hudson down pit road. I'm going to put the sticker up. You guys will know exactly who's on pit road. Going to give Lane Phillips that P2 spot. I don't really mind that strategy call there. Remember, 120 laps here, no stage breaks. We do have a, you know, bonus points for this halfway. You do get bonus points for where you finish at that halfway mark, which is at the completion of lap 60. But you see these drivers are going to try to split this race kind of into thirds. Two stopper, 40, 40, 40. See that 6 coming down pit road here. Now when does Brandon come down pit road? When does Brandon-ish? Now we have 2 Brandons leading the field here. And now you see Ira all over the back end of this number 19 machine. Now it's going to be about who pits first here. Who could be better down pit road here? As you see Ira all over the back end of Brandon trying to maybe get a spot here before they decide to come down pit road. Race leader San Filippo down pit road. Whether these guys stay out here, they will. Beat the San Filippo down pit side here. Coming out of the pit road. This is Joe comparatively. Joe was one of the first guys to come out of the pit road. That's San Filippo. He's getting around right there. So that is 2 lap older tires. So he pitted 2 laps before Filippo did his. Oh man, Sam almost got clobbered by that 49. Now we're gonna go back to this race for your lead here. So Ira and Brennan need to come down pit road here. I think you can go about 45, maybe even 50 laps here in these trucks. So they can still stretch it quite a bit more if they want to. But we saw a lot of those drivers. You see Brandon down pit road. And hand your race lead over back to Ira. The Ira leading his first couple laps of the race here. Led a couple at the start of the race and lost it. But you have to think that he's probably on the strategy of let's just run it out. Let's get many laps in as we can here. You see Hudson get around him on the bottom, and that's just a tire advantage right there. 43 laps, old tires. That's how slow they are compared to those guys who just came in, took some fresh tires, topped off on fuel. And you can already see that 49 start to pull away here, slowly but surely away from the race leader here, unlapping himself. San Filippo back behind there. He's going to try to get around the race leader as soon as you can here. I will still continue to stay out on the racetrack here. At 45 complete here. You have to think it's got to be a matter of time before I was gonna be forced to come down pit road. No, I get the long game, but sometimes you run too long here in these trucks, and that advantage does not come. You see him down pit road here, along with Zimmerman in the 65. So Sam is gonna take over the race lead. He's gonna try to stretch it. So this just shows the narrative right here that Sam is probably going to stretch as long as he can here. You see Lane and Phillips. They're trying to make the pass on the top here. Trying to be cordial around your race leader here. You don't want to be wrecking your race leader here. Starting to see Zimmerman and Kohlhaas coming out of pit road. They are at a very disadvantage now. Lost a lot of time staying out here, but they do have, what, about 5 lap pressure tires? We'll see if that's an advantage that is worth willing to take here. But Ira and Brandon have to get on that horse and go. I mean, they are at least 2 seconds behind Barry Stevens. Barry hasn't hit about 4 or 5 laps ago. But still, Sam, I'm surprised. Here he comes down pit road here. Lap 47, 28 down pit road here, and that's going to hand the race back over to Joe Hudson as he passes Sam for this race lead. And Filippo about 2 seconds back behind the 49. But does have those 2-lap pressure tires here. You're not going to see that come to effect right now. But those 2 laps will catch up with Joe if he does not be careful with the tires sooner or later. And once again, Brandon can't use this stuff up trying to get back to Hudson here. He has to know that he does have the pressure tires. He has to be patient to get back up here. And then all the way back here, 8 seconds behind your second place driver, Lane Phillips. So all these guys, Lane Phillips, Honeycutt, Ish, all these guys, very slow stops comparatively, with being 8 seconds behind the P2 driver and almost 10 seconds behind your race leader of Hudson. Right now, you're seeing the closest battle on track is going to be this Brandon. Technically, he's going to try to get around the 78 of Barry Stevens here. He's going to probably be able to easily make that pass as he's out on freshies compared to slightly older tires on that 78. Next closest battle of 13 with a lot of pressure from the 19. Brandon Ish trying to get around this 13 for the 4th place spot. 19 underneath the 13. He's going to clear him. As he passed for the 19 right now. And he has Lane Phillips in his sights right in front. We do have a little 4-car pack here. 3rd through 6th. Jordan Marion, what a run for him. Up 8 spots from where he started. We did not elect to make a lap here. Started from the back. Now up to this P6 spot. And slowly running down these drivers in front too. Catching the 13, the 6, and the 19. You see that? The 19 trying to make a pass on the 6 from the top. Gonna make it happen here. 19. Brandon Ish up to the P3 spot. Oh, Brandon Ish not in the playoffs, I believe. Triple check one more time. He is not playoffs. This is Brandon's 4th start in the Sweet Tea Game Truck Series, so definitely I won't say a newcomer to the league. He's ran quite a few races in the Cup Series and the Xfinity Series, and now here his 4th race in the Truck Series, so definitely pretty well known in the community at least. And is known for his speed. And now this is basically the closest pack of cars here is this 3rd through 7th now. You see Bryce Dickinson get underneath the 11 here. Bryce with the freshest tires, some of the freshest tires in the field here. 12 compared to a lot of these guys is 16, 18, almost 20 lap old tires. Trying to see Bryce start to run these guys down a little bit. Slowly, little by little, you see his brother back here. 14 laps down, but back on track here, right behind his relative. trying to help him get through this pack. Bryce Dickinson underneath the 11 here, trying to make something work here. You see the 67 on the apron. Right now, the storm has calmed down here as we're approaching halfway here in the race. And we're trying to figure out what they need to do here. Everybody needs to figure out how the heck they get up to these front two. See Joe starting to get ran down by San Filippo. Guys are starting to come into play here. 20 laps complete in this stint. This is when you're going to start to see the tire wear start to play a factor here. And the 16 starting to reel this race leader in. Slowly and steady. Last lap he was about 0.2 of a second quicker. Now he's right in the camera view of this 49 machine. And Joe's got to be thinking, oh man, like there's not really a whole lot he could do here. Fresher tires are fresher tires. You can't really hold off a guy on fresher tires, is especially in the trucks with how flat out you are throughout most of the track here. And Joe's gonna try to race him here for this halfway bonus. Joe parks it down on the bottom. 16 gonna try to look high here. Nothing to do with it. One lap to go to the halfway stage break. Gonna try the top here. Not really a big of enough run that he expected, probably, to make something happen here if he wants to win this. And as much bonus points as he wants. See a huge run out of the 16 here. Will he get there? At the line. Give it to Hudson. I even know we talked about a stage break. No cautions. So no stage cautions here. But they were racing for bonus points there. We saw Hudson eked out that 16 machine. And now you see him start to fall back. I think he really did want to push to get those stage points. And now content letting that 16 get by and start to pull out a little bit of a gap here. Already about 0.4 of a second, half a second back already. That 49 is starting to fade to that 16. And with that, halfway done with the race. Everybody kind of spaced out on their own thing. We're going to take some time away to give our friends over at Scary Strokes time to shine here. So we'll be right back after this commercial break.
Welcome to Scary Strokes, where fun meets fright, where every experience transports you to a world of fun. Play 18 holes of blacklight mini-golf in ancient Egypt, a haunted house, and beyond the grave. Step inside our virtual reality arena, where you take control of video games and virtual worlds. Battle robots, shoot zombies, and compete against your friends. Throw your next birthday with our VIP Party Pack. Our party pros are ready to entertain you with a fright fest you'll never forget. Perfect for an action-packed date night full of flirty fun. Our state-of-the-art arcade has the latest games with the coolest prizes. Be sure to feast on some tasty morsels in the Graveyard Grill. So come on, bring your ghoulish gang over to Scary Strokes, where every experience matters.
Welcome back to Las Vegas Motor Speedway here. 67 laps complete here now. 68 laps complete here, and you see your top five. San Filippo, Joe Hudson, Brandon Ish, Lane Phillips, and Brandon Honeycutt. Your top five drivers here at Las Vegas. San Filippo starting to build this gap out a little bit too. Joe Hudson in that P2 spot. We saw him try to fight as much as he could to. Excuse me. We saw him fight to get to that stage break, and it started to fall back quite a bit compared to your race leader. Now about a second and a half behind your race leader, running at about a tenth slower. Yeah, Brandon Ish back here in this P3 spot. Still 7 seconds behind Joe here. So those two are in a very good spot. So like they just need to manage that gap and not allow some of these drivers to get back up here. Right now, Brandon running the fastest laps on the track, 31.8 to well, as I say that now, a little bit slower that lap compared to your first two drivers on the track, and a 32 flat comparatively to Filippo's and Hudson's 31.90s. Filippo and Hudson almost identical lap time, only a thousandth of a second off each other. And now the closest battle, when Marion trying to pull away from Brandon Zimmerman here, but remember Zimmerman has about 7 lap fresher tires here, so he's gonna catch this 11 in a hurry. Got to get around him as fast as he can to take that P6, no, to take that P7 position away and move himself up here, up 7 spots as it is now. Remember, Brandon basically has to come out here and win to propel himself into the playoffs here. Has missed a couple races, put himself in a really bad spot, and now that 65 team has to do everything to pull out these stops to do something different to try to maybe win this race. Right now, currently, he's 12 seconds behind your race leader. He's going to have to pull out some spots. He's going to have to do something different to try to get himself in a spot to potentially race for the win. Right now, taking a P7 spot away from Jordan. He's getting up there now, up 2 spots. I apologize. Jordan Marion was up 7 spots, and now down to 6. But once again, huge, gotta give a clap to that 11 machine, that 11 team, and that unsponsored truck. Coming out here, making up 6 spots. Did not get a set of qualifying lap, and already up to the 8th position here. Definitely have to give a clap to that and show respect where it's due. See Lane Phillips trying to get away from Honeycutt in that 13 machine. You see them running pretty identical lap times here. Guys pitted around the same time. Lane Phillips with 2 lap fresher tires, so you're going to see him potentially pull away here if he manages his tires a little bit better. You still see that 13 in tow here on the straights. Trying to take advantage of that 6 being in front, trying to keep up alongside him. But nice sight to see the 6 start to slowly gap this 13 machine. Now up to 3/10. It was 2 that last lap. You start to see him start to tiptoe away from this 13 machine with those fresher tires. And now this is the closest battle here. 13 about 3.5 tenths behind, trying to stay in contact with the 6 machine, but like to see that 13 start to get smaller and smaller in front of him. You might have an issue with Jordan Marion here. Looks like he's losing a lot of speed here. He's down pit road. He's one of the first guys to come down pit road here. He has the 36 lap old tires, same as San Filippo here, your race leader. So that is around that time where people are going to start to come down pit road here. So about that time. Get 11 coming down pit road. Now you're probably going to see the 16 and the 49 probably try to react to that. And decide to make their way down pit road as well. I think Joe Hudson coming down. No? He likes to stay out for another lap around here. Laps winding down very quickly here. Closing in on 40 to go. You have to think someone's got to mix it up here. You see Brandon Ish down pit road. He's going to try to spice it up here. 35 laps on his tires. He's got to try something different to make up some time here. I don't really mind this call. Come in here and maybe get a couple laps. Fresher tires on your car comparatively to these two leaders. He was running in third. Needs some time. See the 16 still down pit. Still on the track here. Not going to pit this time. Same thing with Joe. Joe's going to try to stick it out here. Surprised to see that they haven't really reacted to the guys in front here. We saw the guys like Zimmerman and Ira not really get an advantage staying out as long as they did. Like Ira's in 7th place, but 14 seconds behind your race lead here. And running on his own here. Only person within the vicinity is Brandon Zimmerman, who's on the same strat. And he's 8/10 up the road here. See him here in that number 65 machine. I figured you'd see the race leaders kind of react to the 19 and to the 11 and try to come down when they do, but still electing to stay on the track here with 81 complete. I say that Joe Hudson down pit road, Elaine Phillips down pit road. That's the strategy game that you're going to see here. Now does San Filippo react? He does. San Filippo down pit road. I'll hand over the lead here to Honeycutt. Honeycutt will stay out one extra lap. He already does have that lap lead bonus, so trying to do something a little bit different here. I think if I'm the 13, if I'm the 84, you got to come down as soon as you can here, in my opinion. Sam can maybe afford to stay out a couple of laps. He still has 34 versus like 45 on Honeycutt. But still, I feel like you got to start to at least plan a time of when you need to be down here and not hemorrhage time away with these 40 Apple tires. You see, now Bryce Dickinson running 32 twos on those 40 lap tires versus, we'll see if we can get a good flyer lap here from San Filippo. See what he can run here. 32-2 to a that's also not a lap. A 30.8. So they're about 2.5 seconds faster lap than these guys who are elected to stay out here. Honeycutt down pit road. Bryce coming out of pit road. Now Zimmerman's going to lead here for a little bit. Remember, him and Ira elected to stay out late this round. This last pit stop. I assume they'll probably try to do the same thing once again here. Now coming to 35 to go here. Gotta be do or die time here for some of these guys. I think Brandon right now needs a caution to put himself in a good spot here. He needs to run this out. If he really wants a chance at maybe getting a lucky yellow here, he needs to stay out as long as he can here. Make some of these drivers run, 5-10 laps on these tires. Hope for a caution to come out, and then you'll have, 5 fresher tires. Now that does make a difference here. But obviously that's something that needs to happen, and it looks like it's going to be pretty impossible for that to happen. Everybody's kind of spread out right now. The closest pack right here is Siemens and Dickinson. Dickinson just came out of the pit road, so he's going to easily get by a number 78 machine. You see Lane Phillips trying to navigate through the 78 as well. And here comes Zimmerman. He's down pit road. And once again, Sam is going to stay out here and do a maybe a longer stint like he did last time. Sorry about that little freezing there. Looks like our timing and scoring was having a panic attack there, but we got it back. So Sam McClough selecting to stay out here. 40 laps on those tires. Honestly, I like the move of the race here is this Brandon Nish machine. Remember, he was about 7 seconds back now. He dropped that down to 3.5. I think he's still going to need some help with a caution or something to help him get back up there, but you got to give him credit where it's due. He tried something different to try to get himself some track position. He's only got 3-lap older tires. We know that that will come to bite him in the rear end potentially here if he doesn't save his stuff. I did close the gap here significantly to Joe and Sam Filippo. To San Filippo, still a provisional leader. As a caution comes out here. Oh man, and that's exactly what Brandon Zimmerman did not want to see there. He's definitely hitting his steering wheel there, saying if I would have stayed out there, I would have had an opportunity to come down and get fresh tires and have, you know, at the very most a 14 lap advantage here. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what happened to this number 21 machine. Oh, speaking of that, this involved your race leader here. Looks like Lane, I don't know what was going on here, but like Lane did not realize that the 21 was gonna pinch him down to the apron here, and 21 gets hooked by the 6. The 6 gets into the 28, and look at this 28 get up on 2 wheels here. Wow. And a heavy contact to the outside wall there. You see Phillips involved in there too, and you gotta feel bad for Sam there. Really know where he could have gone there. Race leader, leading the race right there at the time. Yeah, it was on strategy, but that was your race leader that got caught up in some lap traffic shenanigans, it looks like. So fortunate for Sam. Hasn't had the most luck here in the Sweet Tea Gate Truck Series. You see right there. Lane Phillips, a ton of damage to that right front. And that's probably going to be a race ender for him as well. You'll see Sam out on the track here. Did not come down to pit for damage. And honestly, could be worse. Just some scrapes and stuff like that. Unfortunately, with these trucks, those scrapes will very much affect the way this truck handles. So he's probably going to be forced to come down here and take some of this damage, give up the race lead. He needed to come down and pit anyways. 44 laps on those tires. Needs to come down pit road anyways, but he's going to take everybody down pit side with him. They're going to look at the sand flipping machine. This is probably going to be the race off pit road here. Is between the 16 and 49. You see the 19 with the strategy call here. Brandon Ish with 2 tires, it looks like. And Filippo's going to win the race off pit road with the 4 tire stops here. And Brandon Zimmerman, and I guess this is a way you could look at it in his perspective. He needs the win here. He needs a win to get him into the next round of the playoffs here. So he decides to stay out here. Only has 6 laps on those tires. But he is letting all these guys by. Does he have a penalty maybe? Not sure why he's letting all these drivers by here, but he is going to the back of the pack here. He was not caught up in RX, so he will not be claiming a caution. Interesting. That's going to hand the race back over to now Brandon Ish. Remember, did a little bit of a strategy call there. 6-second faster stop there, so I believe that he did take 2 tires here. Maybe right sides only for that 19 machine. And Filippo on the outside there, Joe Hudson and Brandon Honeycutt. He fast forward with going to 26 laps to go here. Gonna be an exciting one at the end of this one, folks. Don't go away here. There's gonna be some exciting racing at the end here. Right now, I would say we're right in the window where you really don't have to worry about really saving too much. It shouldn't be about go time. It's gonna be about being aggressive, trying to keep this track position. Lights are back on the pace truck. We saw the lights were off for a moment here. That's why we're trying to get you guys all informed on what's going on here. For everybody that doesn't know at home, leader does get lane choice. So that 19 can choose to pick the inside, or he can choose to start on the outside there. Like he does choose the inside here. I believe you're not seeing that wrong. I think once again, the simulators have had an issue when you set up a session to where, especially here in the truck series, to where sometimes the admins will check a setting on and it'll just turn it back off. So I don't think that these caution laps are counting towards the race. We were supposed to be going green here with 24 to go. Now we're at the 26 mark. Maybe I'm a little bananas here, but seems like we should have gotten a lap here. But lights are off on the pace truck here. Chevy front row, Chevy forward the second row, Toyota forward third row here at the restart here. Going to green with 25 to go here. Everybody get on your feet, dude. This is going to be an insane run here. Hopefully no calamity comes out of this, but pace truck is going to take the hard left turn. Waiting to get in that Geico restart zone. And the 19 of Brandon Ish is going to lead us back to green. Good run into turn 1 and 2 for that 49 machine. Joe Hudson looking to the outside. Now to the inside of this 19 machine. He knows that he's on worse tires here. The 19's going to get loose. Make some contact with the 49. Up the track goes the 19. Now 3 wide for that lead. Here comes the 16 of San Filippo in the middle of 3. And use that high side. Oh, the 13 gets hooked. Caution out once again here. We saw that one unfold right in front of our eyes there. Giving it a different shot of this. Looks like 2 trucks coming together here. Coming out of the tri-oval. See the 19 trying to pinch the 13 down. You see the 13 trying to kind of take the corner the way most people would here. Fortunately, they both get together here. 13 gets hooked into the outside wall. And away he goes. Great job by all the other drivers to get around this wreck, though. I mean, that was, what? A wreck for the 3rd place spot there. So great job by all these drivers to get around that and not get collected in the... I believe it's only that 13 and the 19 with the damage on their vehicles. So great job by all of them to get on the binders, slow those cars down, and get around them safely. The 19 have to tow that machine to the pit road, so that's going to be a lengthy damage refix here. See the 13 there. Lots of damage to that right front as well. I mean, that was a pretty massive impact to that outside wall there. You see the pace truck and the rest of the field going around there. So this will fortunately put the 13 a lap down here. Remember, these drivers do not have fast repairs they can lean on to like in a lot of other series here. So if they get caught up in a wreck, they have to sit in there and take the damage. And that's going to be a huge blow for some of these drivers. Luckily for the 13, already locked into that championship 4, I believe. Or at least locked into the round of 8. Locked into the next round. How about that? We'll call it safe and say that. So luckily, I mean, he probably wanted to come out here and maybe race for a win here. Maybe had that cushion a little bit. But luckily for him, he's already locked into the next round. Doesn't have to really worry about running competitively up here. You know, you see some guys that will do that. Even though they've won, they want to come up here, pad the cushion. They want to come up here and, you know, consistently try to put the pressure on some of these other guys, maybe make mistakes to help themselves throughout the rounds here in the playoffs. But fortunately, see the 13 probably going to make an early exit here at tonight's race at Vegas. We should be going to green with about 19 laps to go here. So while we have your time here, while they're not putting on a show for you guys, I want to once again remind you guys, if you're new to the broadcast, please hit that subscribe button down below. If you are watching on YouTube, if you are watching on Twitch, please hit that follow button. We, especially on the Twitch, we do more than just broadcast. We do stream on Twitch with mostly iRacing stuff with my iRacing career with you know, special events on the IDK Player YouTube channel, but also some leagues that I personally, Christian Delgado, run in. So if you'd want to follow me on the Twitch, that'd be very much appreciated. But at the very least, hit that subscribe button on the YouTube for the High Velocity TV broadcast. Obviously, this is what we're doing tonight. If you guys would like, hit that like button on the stream as well. Try to get that algorithm up. And be like the cool guys and girls down in chat, like Susie and Justin and everybody else, Ty when he wrecked it. Come down and type in chat who your favorite driver is. Who are you rooting for to maybe get it done here at Vegas? And lastly, if you really want to help, you know, all the hard work that us guys over here at the High Velocity TV studios do, share the stream with friends and family to show it. Say, hey, look, That's my buddy in that race. That's my buddy on the broadcast. That's my relative. That's my niece or nephew. Racing there. Share the stream, and we're trying to grow this thing out as big as we can here over on the High Velocity TV side. Trying to get, as we grow, we're going to try to amp up the production as much as we can here. Try to make the viewing experience as pleasurable for everybody here as we can. Obviously, we are a little small team here, but we're trying to grow. Looking for producers, looking for commentators, looking for graphic designers, looking for animators, everything here over on the High Velocity TV side. So if you guys have anybody who would be interested and want to become a part of the team, make sure to email any inquiries to hvtvbroadcasting@aol.com, and we will try to get you hooked up there. The lights off on the pace car here. And we're going to have a little 20-lap dash here to finish this race off to see who can get it done here at Vegas. Oh, a Chevy Ford front row. And a Ford Toyota front row. We say, come on, Bryce. Look at that. Bryce Dickinson up to the P3 spot here. Making his way up here. But right now, we get into this guy Carisar zone. And San Filippo leading us back to green. To go here at Las Vegas, and you already see the aggressiveness start to come up. You see Bryce Dickinson in that PT spot trying to make something happen. Oh my God, commentator's curse, baby. He's gonna get hooked here. The caution's gonna wave. Oh, here comes the 21 to get him in the back here too. Oh man, that's a heartbreaker for him. I was having such a good run. Take a look to see what happened here. Yeah, unfortunately, I think you're trying to clear that 16 machine of San Filippo, and just fortunately that there was a car there. You see Brandon trying to just back out of it as much as he can here, but unfortunately, 84 still there trying to clear himself there. And unfortunately, that 84 is going to go for a ride here. You're going to see him get it tagged once again in the left front by the 21. you think the 21 would get on the binders a little bit more, but fortunately, 84 having such a great run here. Has had a pretty bad luck here throughout the season here. Unfortunately, going to get caught up one late in the race here. With that all said and done, with everybody's starting to, you know, cause cautions and get caught up and stuff here. Look at this, Brandon Zimmerman. Remember, we told you he has to win to lock himself into the next round here with the way the points is shaking out here. Then here in P2nd. Gonna be going to green with about 10 laps to go here. He definitely has a chance here to maybe upset some of these guys here, lock himself in. I saw yesterday in the BRS Truck Series over there with the Crown Jewel Racing League, Crown Jewel Racing, Corey Mott, you know, the last seed in the round of 8 there, going there and steal a win there over there in that Truck Series, locking himself into the Championship 4. So maybe Brandon Zimmerman can do the same thing. Maybe pull something out of the hat here, and potentially steal a win here at Vegas. You see a lot of people down the road here. You see Honeycutt, Brandon Ishleen, Phillips out of the car. I go down and take a look at this. The number 21 machine, remember he got caught up in that last wreck, that North Carolina 811 machine. Someone got a pit road. See Bryce coming out of pit road here. Honestly, damage could be worse. So I definitely wouldn't call this 84 out of it yet. Definitely the I want to see if we can into his cockpit. See if we can see what RPMs are like here. You know, come down, pick road once again here. Look, the truck is decently still under power here, so we'll see what he can do with this damage, see if he can get some more fixed down here. Light on that pit box. I'm going to continue to get some of that damage fixed here. Hopefully he can get back out and at least try to salvage a decent finish out there. I think with how people have been wrecking out consistently here, he might be able to sneak a top 10 even, I feel like. So you can definitely get a top 10 with how many people are laps down here. Right now he's sitting currently in P8. 1 lap down. Next guy behind is 10 laps down. That is Ron in the 21. So if he can get out there, hope for another caution here. Get himself a lucky dog. Might be able to squeeze a top 5 if he's lucky here. But he needs to get on track if he wants to do that now. Bryce still down pit road here. But the lights are off on the pace truck, so if he wants a chance to get out here, he's got to be going now. I mean, Las Vegas, a mile and a half. If he's not gone now, he's not going to catch the field by the time they get to him here. Looks like Bryce still down pit road here, so probably going to try to get all that damage fixed before he comes out. Joe Hudson elects the top here on this restart. I think that's the first driver who was chose the top on one of these restarts, so I'm interested to see what kind of run he gets here. The iRacing pace truck off here, and Joe Hudson leading us to green. A great jump by Joe. Look at Ira Kohlhaas taking over that P2 spot. Brandon falling into the clutch of the 11 already. Remember, he does have some newer tires comparatively to the guys around him. Only 2 laps, but Brandon needs to get on that horse and go. Now I'm looking back here at Barry Stevens. He just came down pit road here and pitted. He has 15 lap fresher tires here with 10 to go here. He might have something for these guys. He's got 10 laps to do it. He's got to get around this 11 first. And Filippo also on new tires. Oh, you see the Joe Hudson coming up pit road. Did he jump the start? I can't tell on the software if he has a black flag or not, but he's down pit road here. Ira Kohlhaas now your leader. Barry Stevens in a very good spot to maybe get something done here. He's got to get around this 11 though. 8 laps to go. Not a lot of time left with this tire advantage. He's got to try to wrap this top, I feel like. He needs to try to run something different. He cannot just ride in line here. He has to try to do something else if he wants a chance to win this race. I'm still trying to pass on the bottom here. The 11 is going to slide up the track. Side by side for that P2 spot, but also side by side for the race lead here. Ira Kohlhaas on the outside of the 65 is Zimmerman. Zimmerman trying to use the bottom to take the lead and try to lock his way into the playoffs. Same thing with Ira. He has to win to lock himself in the playoffs. So 2 playoff drivers trying to battle it out for this win to lock themselves in the next round. We have 2 non-playoff drivers, Jordan Marion and Barry Stevens back there, third and fourth. This trophy hunting back there. What a race at the end of this race. We've been cutting the apron, trying to take the shortest way around the track. As you kind of see almost kind of like a tandem thing. You see the 78 behind the 65. You see the 11 behind the 29. They'll actually kind of arrow push each other out, those lines out in front of each other. Not too much to where it would be a total disadvantage, but still side by side, second through basically a 4-car pack here. No one can really get a run around each other. Side by side, 40 laps to go. Here comes the 78, 3 wide on the bottom. Going to put that 65 in a really tough spot. That's going to allow Ira the clear for the lead. Now side by side for P2, that's the 11 and the 65 of Marion and Zimmerman. If Zimmerman has to win here, he has to win. He cannot continue to get held up here. You see Zimmerman contact with the 11. Now here comes the 78 once again, trying to look 3 wide. 65 blocks. With all this racing, you're allowing that 29 to get away here. You guys got to get lined back up and try to run down this leader. Once again here, 3 laps to go, going to 2. Not a lot of time to get back to that 29 machine. Aaron trying to do everything he can to get back to the clutches there. The 65, I feel like, needs to work with this 11. He cannot waste time trying to get around him. He needs to get that 11 back up to the 29 if he wants a chance to make something happen. Run a little wide there. Not going to get a good run off, too. Gordon Marion within striking distance. He needs to get a good run out of turn 4 here to put himself in the spot. See the 29 elected to run the bottom. The 11 should get a run off the corner here because he did run higher. White flag in the air. White flag in the air for Ira Kohlhaas. Ira starting to pull away here. I don't think anybody's got anything for him. Coming out of turn 3 and 4, Ira Kohlhaas is going to steal one at Vegas, locking himself into the next round of the playoffs. Iowa Koolhaas, victorious at Las Vegas. What a race. Ira, did you see there, led 16 laps. Wow. What a win for this driver. Has been in opportunities to win some races here and just have consistently got caught up in stuff out of his doing. And you know this is going to be a good one. You see him park that 29 machine on the start finish line here. We go through race results here, brought to you by High Velocity TV. Not at Richmond, we are at Las Vegas, but Ira Koolhaas victorious here at Las Vegas. Jordan Marion, what a run for him. Try to get back up there. Barry Stevens at number in the 78, great run for him. Brandon Zimmerman, oh man, what if that's gonna be a story of what if he won this race here. I want you to see how that would have gone. Brandon Sanfilippo got caught up in a wreck. He's gonna finish P5. Joe Hudson, even after having that penalty, is gonna come out in P6. I believe he might have jumped the start. We'll have to see from the race admins after the race. But P6 for Joe Hudson. Sam Koolhaas, great recovery for P7. P8 is going to be Ron Hollifield, 10 laps down. P9 is going to be Bryce Dickinson. P10 is going to be Brandon Honeycutt. P11, Brandon Ish. P12, Ty Dickinson, and Lane Phillip is going to round out your field here. As we do that, let's get ready to talk to some of your playoff contenders here. Let's go ahead and talk to your third place driver, Barry Stevens here. Hey Barry, it's Christian up in the HVTV booth. You got a copy? Well, did not get a qualifying lap in here, so you basically had to drive your way up through the field here. So walk us through your race, walk us through that finish, and walk us through what was going through your mind with that 10-lap shootout there.
I came in for tires, and I was pretty much throttle all the way down those last 10 laps. Not pretty much, I was. And the third's nice. I think if one more lap, I'd have had second, but I'm happy with third.
Definitely was exciting watching you guys go back and forth. It was you four. You know, you, Ira, Jordan, yourself, and Zimmerman. You know, two playoff drivers versus two drivers who aren't in the playoffs. You and Jordan kind of just trophy hunting. That was a very entertaining race you put on there, but you know, it's always that what if situation there. But yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want to mess up, you know, somebody else's championship or chance for championship, but I also didn't want to give away the race.
Yeah, that's always something you have to think about. Just, you know, well, what are you willing to do to, you know, go out here and get a trophy? And that's always respectful to see that, you know, you guys are taking care of each other, trying to, you know, make sure not to ruin, you know, Ira's championship or whatever. You know, Ira had the win to, you know, put himself in a better spot to get into the next round. You know, he was on the bottom. He was out of the playoffs going into this race. So it was really interesting to see, you know, how pit strategies came out. was also really entertaining seeing you guys go at it there with those last 10 laps to go there. But yeah, great P3 finish for you, Barry. But I'm gonna hand the floor over to you. Does anybody want to shout out any friends or family watching at home? Any sponsors? Anybody you want to shout out for this P3 finish?
I'm a lone dog in this league right now. Not really on a team or doing anything, but I want to thank Ira, who won the race, and Jordan. I saw his rookie stickers across the back, so that's an excellent drive for him. And yeah, looking forward to doing it again next week.
I definitely can't wait to see that. And I think right there that you definitely put your name out there for maybe some people that might want to work with you right there. It looks like you'd be a really good teammate for some of these guys out here, especially some of these all the lone wolves. But besides that, I'm gonna let you go back up there, celebrate with whoever you need to. But hopefully we can talk to you next week up here, maybe in Victory Lane.
Absolutely. Thanks for your time.
Yep, thank you. Have a good rest of the night. That was Barry Stevens, your third place driver there, and hey, like I said, any teams here in SSR, look, he's looking for someone to race with here, and you know, I think he definitely gave a good interview, a good application right there, just coming out here, started from the back, came up here and finished P3. So let's go ahead and talk to a P2 finisher, and that is going to be of Jordan Marion here, in that number 11 machine. Hey Jordan, is Christian up in the HVTV booth? You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Oh, what a performance by you! I kind of talked to the 78 of Barry Stevens in the same way. You guys really didn't get a chance to go in there instead of quality time, so started from the back, and you came up here. You know, at the end there, kind of Mr. Where did he come from? Battling for that win there. So walk us through that your race and walk us through those last couple late race restarts there.
Of course. So, coming in, this is my first truck race, and I didn't really want to get in the way of their point standings or anything. So I started from the back. Didn't really have practice speed, so I figured that was the best bet. And I couldn't get a groove. I think I lost the pack. I was like 3 seconds back, and I didn't know that draft was like a huge factor here. And I short pitted, just a Hail Mary, if you will, and came out in like 6th, 7th, I believe. And the yellow came out randomly when I was getting past. I think it was on my second set of tires, and it just played out in my hands. Towards the end there on the second restart, I don't really think I had too much for the 29. I tried to get him out front, and I was hoping I could clear the car below, which I did, but the 29, he was just gone by that point, and I couldn't get to him.
It looked like once you got Ira out clear, you know that, you know, for especially these style of tracks, the clean air is super good here. So as soon as Ira got out there clear and could really manage the lanes there, you definitely saw him start to pull away there. But you know, something that Barry talked about me before the interviews. It sounds like you're pretty new to the sim, at least pretty new to the truck. So there's a lot of drivers that were talking very kindly of you. I mean, for someone who's not new, who's especially new to the league, that was very clean and very professional racing out of you in that number 11 machine. But yeah, very exciting to see you guys go out there, duke it out, like, and battle it out. Very clean, very professional. But besides that, I'm gonna hand the floor over to you to thank anybody you want to. If there's anybody watching at home, any sponsors, family members, anybody want to shout out for this P2 finish.
Man, I thugged this race out solo. I've been on iRacing for about 14, if not 15 years at this point, but not consistently. And that's one of the things I'm trying to get better about currently is just getting on here and getting the seat time and just getting those reps in. I feel like I could do a little bit better, but I just don't get on the sim enough to really reach my full potential, if you will. But I'd like to shout out Tachyon Sim Sport. I usually have my spotter Randy up there looking out for me, but like I said, tonight I just raw dogged it by myself. And I'd like to thank Haley. She's the one that told me to do the race. And I'd like to thank John for putting on a great series.
Yeah, you definitely can't account for all the admins that put the work back on in the background. A lot of people don't realize how much work goes on behind the scenes there, but yeah, definitely a great Yeah, absolutely. But obviously a great finish for you, especially I think what this is your debut race here in the truck series. So not a bad way to come out here and show what you're worth here. And yeah, hopefully we can talk to you up here once again, maybe in Victory Lane.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yep, you have a good rest of the night. That was Jordan Marion, your P2 driver. And once again, lone duck here. Maybe him and Barry can get together. Maybe make a little dynamic team there. That'd be pretty fun to see. But lastly, see if we can find him here. See if we can find Ira Colas here. Mm-mm-mm. Here we go. See if we can grab him and get him up here in the booth.
Straight away.
Hey Ira, it's Christian up here in the HVTV booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
We'll talk about an eventful race for you. You know, came up there and led some laps early. Um, and kind of fell back. Looked like maybe you burned up yourself a little bit too early there. And then kind of calamity started happening around the halfway point, three quarters mark. Took out a lot of fast trucks here, and it looks like you were able to take advantage of there. Came up there, took the lead late, and then got through those green white checkers the best, and came out here victorious. So just walk me through your race. Walk me through what's going through your mind those last couple of restarts.
Yeah, starting off, it was more of, I guess you'd call me a scapegoat or whatever for the team, just to see how um, hard you could push for how long. And I mean, they fell off, but they didn't fall off as bad as I was thinking. Um, I was just trying to find out for my brother and the other guys on the team how many laps you could go all out. Um, so I kind of knew that was coming, and then was trying to figure out a pit strategy to where I would just be in open track and wouldn't have to worry about racing anybody. So we waited there at the end on that first one. And then, I mean, once the second pit stop happened, it was like all hell broke loose. And full moon must be out in Vegas, especially with, on that last restart, I guess Joe got black flagged for jumping or something. I was shocked when he said that he was pitting. But it was definitely an interesting race. It was a fun race.
It was definitely fun to watch, and I'm glad that you kind of attested that. We're wondering what happened to Joe, that we saw him veer off the road here, and unfortunately, timing and scoring doesn't really show us whether drivers have black flags or not. So that's, I mean, definitely a heartbreaker for Joe. He was definitely one of the more competitive trucks throughout the race here. But I mean, walking you through those last restarts, it looked like you managed it really well. It looked like we talked to the 11, and he said he got you out front there. And is that basically what all it took was you to get out there, get that clean air, and you just kind of pulled away there? Or do you think that it might have been had to do something with tire saving or something else?
Well, we all had pretty fresh ones on there towards the end. I wasn't on that second run. I didn't abuse them near as much, and we didn't catch up to the rest of the guys that pitted like 10 laps before we did. Uh, so there towards the end, I knew once I got past Brandon in the 65 that him and the 11 would be side by side, and I'd be able to get a few tenths. And whoever got out front there, that I didn't think they'd have enough time to catch me. So that was the plan on that one. Once I got to the outside of the 65 and saw him and the 11 um, battling side by side for that one, I was just holding a pretty wheel and not letting off the right pedal.
Exactly, and that you really did a good job illustrating that, because that's exactly what happened. He got you clear, and then they kind of, the way how the trucks work, when you're side by side, it really does bog down the trucks with the side draft and stuff like that, and it just allowed you to get out in front there, and they really couldn't get back to you to race you to the line there. So, and then that's really a testament to how you have to. It's almost kind of like mind games, kind of like how the super speedways work in the Cup and Xfinity, and even in these trucks, where you kind of have to get that clean air and force those guys behind you to race side by side there. And you did a really good job, putting yourself in the perfect spot to get out there and get a win here. And then not even talking about this, this locks you into the next round of the playoffs. So what's going through your mind now, knowing that you won? You don't have to worry about going in the next round or going in throughout the rest of this round. You know, you were below the cutoff line, having to miss a couple races. Now, winning, you don't have to worry about any of that anymore.
Yeah, that was on my mind going into this race, knowing that tonight was pretty much my only shot to advance to the next round because I'm going to miss next week. I'll be in Idaho on an elk hunt. But you know, lucking into it with Joe getting that black flag and all that craziness that happened there throughout the race. You know, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
And definitely, and that, I mean, that's a good testament to that too. You were running up front, so I'll say that. Like, you weren't running back there in the teens and stuff. You were, I would say, consistently top six truck. So, I mean, you definitely got lucky, but at least I felt like it was a pretty well deserved win, despite
So
the Joe Hudson stuff. So, like I said,
yeah,
locked
it would
in.
have been fun. It would have been fun to race it out with him. I know the draft would have helped me stay stay up close with him, and if he was going to hug that white line like he'd been doing for most of the race, I was going to go 1 to 2 lanes higher to try to get the run off the corner, plus use the draft. It would have been fun. It would have been interesting, but I mean, a win's a win. I'll take it.
Exactly, got to take what you can get here, especially in the playoffs here. But lastly, before we let you go, anybody you want to shout out here? Any friends, family watching at home? Anybody you want to thank? Sponsors, teams, teammates? Anybody?
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of people that I thank whenever I get an interview, but I'm gonna use this time to talk about that sticker on the hood. RJS Automotive out of Fancy Farm, Kentucky. Randy and Jennifer Sellers. They've been big part of my life for a majority of it. And Randy's been in the hospital for well over a week, and hopefully they finally got him on the mend and figured out what's going on. And I know they're both worn out. They're in a hospital in Nashville, and been saying constant prayers for the healing and just keeping their mind right. You know, being in a hospital and stuff like that when you got other things on your plate isn't exactly the best thing in the world. But he's doing what he's got to do. He's getting better, and you know, definitely still sending prayers out for Randy and Jennifer.
Well, definitely, we all hope that they can recover and get to at least the best that they can. Obviously, health concerns are scary in any shape and sort of fashion, but yeah, hopefully we can. I'll definitely be praying for them. To everybody here over on the HVTV side of things to get them better. We have Fowler, who's had some family issues as well, and we're all praying for him as well. So hopefully, um, your people and everything else can get out there at least to the best that they can. Obviously not everything's perfect, but we'll all be praying for them over here at least to for him to get better.
Definitely appreciate that, and that's one thing you can say about the racing family. I mean, you can body slam somebody on the hood or on the roof of a late model on Saturday, and then find out they got into a wreck on Sunday, and you're sitting there praying for them, hoping that they're all good and well. And it's definitely it's more than a family. It's life is what it is. So we'll uh we'll keep praying, and we'll keep praying for Fowler, and we'll take this W off to Idaho and get us a bull elk and come back and see what we got to do.
That's the attitude. I was about to, how I always end these interviews. I was about to say, congratulations on the win, and hopefully we can talk to you next week here in Victory Lane. But I think obviously you got other plans on your mind, so we better be seeing some cool pictures in the Discord. So,
Well,
but yeah,
there should be some amazing pictures, and everybody's telling me send me pictures of the landscape and of the cabin that you're staying in, and I'm like, I'm not going to take any pictures until there's blood on the ground. Then I
yeah,
can have fun and look at the landscape and everything like that. But thank you guys for broadcasting. Definitely thanks to my wife Callie and my two daughters Lorena and Clara. And we'll let you go and finish up your job, and we'll see you guys in a couple of weeks.
yep, yeah. Once again, congratulations on the win, and we will hopefully talk to you soon. Obviously not next week, but hopefully soon. But you have a good rest of the night, Ira, and we will talk to you soon.
All right, thank you, sir.
Yep. That was Ira Kolas. your race winner here at Vegas. What a finish here, and obviously we'll be praying for all his people over there. Hopefully they can, get a speedy recovery. And like you said, I think that's a great testament of what he said. The iRacing family, just the racing family in general, like everybody's super close knit together. Obviously, everybody's gonna have, a little bit of headbutting, but at the end of the day, we're doing all this for fun, and hopefully everybody can come together and support each other, whether thick or thin. Obviously, everybody, there's some instances where some people don't support others, but that's just in any hobby, any sport, any trade that you do. But like I said, hopefully we'll be praying for them. Also, we'll shout out to John Fowler. I know he's been going through some family issues where with his nephew, I believe, having some heart issues. His another family member getting caught up in an accident. So John, praying for you, man. Hopefully everything comes out the best that we can here. But yeah, besides that, guys, I think it's about time to wrap her up here and get everything going here. But besides here, guys, thank you guys so much for coming out and watching the stream. Once again, this was the SSR Sweet Tea Gang Truck Series at Las Vegas here. Ira Cole Haas, your winner here. Jordan Marion, P2. Barry Stevens, P3. Brandon Zimmerman, P4. Brandon Sanfilippo, you ran out your top 5. You saw Joe at the end there get that penalty, but he's going to still keep that P6. And you have to look at, like, Layton Phillips right there. Last truck to finish, didn't even finish the race. Last truck back there in that P12 position. So, but besides that, guys, I'm going to say goodnight to everybody here. Once again, my name is Christian Delgado, your lead producer and commentator here. It's the wrong one. But besides that, guys, hope everybody has a great rest of the night here. And we will see you all soon, most likely here next Tuesday for some more Sweet Tea Gang Truck Series racing. Listen, guys, hope everybody has a great rest of the night. And you have been watching a production of the Sweet Tea Gang Truck Series over on HVTV. Pretty good night, everybody. Everybody have a great rest of the night.